and this is a prequel to a film that got a lot of attention earlier this year. And critically speaking, Pearl is a little more than a slasher film to me, and that's partly because of its melodramatic approach. It's almost like soap opera music as it comes in, and they play this music for the start of the movie, throughout, and at the end. It's the music, the setting, this beautiful star, she's captivating. Her name is Mia Goth, and it's a sharp contrast to the horror within the cinematic walls of this film. Pearl is the name of it. It's the prequel to 2022's X, which actually was just out in March earlier this year from A24 Studios. It stars Mia Goth. X also starred Mia Goth. Now, I didn't see the first one, but this film is really something. I was entertained, and I really could not take my eyes off of Goth. She has it, and puts on a performance that should have her writing her own ticket in Hollywood. Now, the story is about this young girl growing up in the early 1900s on a farm with her German mother and father that's infirm. He's in a wheelchair, can't speak. But she's waiting for her husband to come home from the war. Until he doesn't, then things kind of happen. Now, I don't want to give anything away, but this film has its own feel with the music and cinematography. But make no mistakes, it's an odd, slasher, entertaining film, and I was surprised that I stuck with it. Pearl is something special to me because of Mia Goth. Also, this is just a challenge that I would like to issue from me here to you guys at home. And here's my challenge. You need to stare at the screen without blinking for the end credits. Just try to stare at the screen as long as you can. Stay with me and stare at the screen for the end credits of this movie. It's a challenge, but it will be fun, and you'll get what I'm talking about at the end of the film. Pearl, obviously, Adam, this one gets a thumbs up from me. And I'm surprised. This is 2 weeks in a row. I've been a critic for years, and I think that I'm not good at reviewing horror movies. I take that all back now. I'm all in. Let's go. What do you think about Pearl?
I was really excited that you decided to dive into this one because I know your hesitancy toward horror films, and I think that you completely got this one and what makes it special. It's the writer-director Ty West. It's his tribute to old Hollywood. That's why we have these glorious title sequences and the big orchestrations. And within that, he just molds a story for Mia Goth to go crazy. If we were on the movie watch with this one, I will say that about at the midway point, I looked at my watch because this is a very slow burn. For about 45 minutes, you're like, okay, I get it. Where's this going? And then it just really, really ramps up in that final half, that final third, and that's when Mia Goth just really, if she's like a chainsaw, that's when it's really just ripping. And she does a couple of things with her face in this movie you were talking about early that are just extraordinary. And she's got a dance scene that'll knock you out in this movie. It's really just a showcase for her.
It's great.
And I mean, what it is. She's having so much fun in this. The writer and director is having so much fun. They're making a third movie in this series, and I'm with it all the way.
I got a question for you on this one. Now, you know I didn't see X. I didn't see X. Do I need to go back and watch that one? Should I go back and watch that one? Do you need to watch it before you see Pearl?
You don't necessarily need to, and like this movie doesn't even need to exist,
right?
If we're being honest,
right?
But it's as a showcase for her. I think it stands on its own. It's fun because it ties to X, but it's not. It's like they took a loose thread that would have been a flashback scene and made a whole movie out of it. And it's hilarious that they even decided to do that. This movie's a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you're on board with it.
Good man, good man. That was obviously that's 2 thumbs up from both of us. All right, let's move on. Another movie out this weekend lets us into God's country.
I heard about you. Just didn't know it was this canyon.
Thandiwe Newton is a lone college professor with a past that gets pulled into an unlikely battle with some locals in this mystery thriller. Now, this movie is quiet, it's brooding, and has a great lead actress in Thandiwe Newton. God's Country gets a thumbs up from me. It's in theaters only.